So this video is going to show you how to create new sections, how to move students from one section to another section, and also how to create a course in Canvas for summer school only. I want to remind you again as a disclaimer that many of these actions are procedures for summer school only. These actions should not be performed during this school year when we have PowerSchool generated courses, because if you do some of these actions, you can cause a lot of problems for students and teachers, not limited to things like grade syncing not working, student enrollments not working, students not being withdrawn correctly. So it's very important that these actions only happen during the summer school sessions. So let's dive right in. One of the first things you might need to do is you might realize you need a section that you didn't originally know that you needed. And so to create a new section inside of a course, we're actually going to go to the course section, the course settings. We're going to go to the sections tab, and we're going to easily be able to add a new section here. Again, really want to drive home the idea that you do not want to do this during the school year. This would cause a lot of issues. But for right now, during the summer, because we're not using PowerSchool, this will work. So I'm going to go into a course. We're going to go to the settings first. I kind of want to go to the home page so you can see that first. So we're on the home page. We'll go down here to settings. That's where you're going to find the sections tab. And so up here, we're going to see all these tabs for the course. So by default, yours might go to course details. That's fine. You're going to want to click on sections, and you'll see all the sections we've already provisioned for you. And so you might want to create a new section. And so I'm just going to call it new section. And then click add section, and you'll see that this section appears up here. We don't need to do anything with this section. Like if I click on it, you'll find the section listed with all the users in it. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to edit the section. You don't need to add a start and end date. You just literally need to create it. The course itself has all that information, so you don't need to click on any of these buttons over here. Okay. Now, how do I add people to the section? So the next piece of this is going to be using the people page in order to add and remove the users. So if I go back into my section and back into my course, I'm going to go over here on the left and click on people. And just like we did before in the previous video, if you want to add a user, we have to add them from the people page. So I'm going to go to the people page, and I'm going to see that I can click plus people, and I want to do login ID for students specifically. I'm going to put in their ID number, which in this case is a example user, but in your case, you might be adding a student with an ID number. If so, you would type in their ID number. If you're adding more than one, you would comma separate each one. Okay, I'm just going to add example student 6. Okay, I want to make sure they're a student. I want to select the section. So there are section options. So those original sections, or I could click the new section I've just created. Then I'll click next. Confirm that my users match, confirm their ID number matches their names before adding them, so I know I'm adding the right users. Then click add user. And what we'll see is here on the user page, the people page, we can check the section column and see that example student 6 is in new section, whereas these other users are in those other sections. Okay. Now, you may find that you actually want to move the student from one section to another. So we're going to remove a student from an old course or an old section. So we're still going to be on that people page. We're going to find the user, and we're going to use the 3 dots. If we're just moving that user from one section to another section, it's fairly simple. From that page, we're just going to click edit section, and we're going to move them from one to the other. If we're actually moving them from one course to the other, we're going to remove them from the old course, then go to the new course and add them. So I'm going to kind of simulate all of that in this course. So right here, let's say I've realized that example student 1 actually is supposed to be in the 0.200 section. So I'd click the 3 dots, I'd click edit section, and then I can remove them from the section they're in, click browse, and put them in the other one. Okay, you actually have to remove it the second step. You can't remove it the first step. So again, I was clicking on browse, and that's how I got all the sections. And then I added them to this section instead, and then I removed the other one. So they're just in the 0.22. Click update, and then double check that that's correct now. So I see that example student 1 is now in the 0.200 section. Okay, so that's how I edit their section. Very similar if I edited their role as well. Now, the other option is this user isn't even supposed to be in this course. They're changing from a whole different class. They're changing from, biology to math or something. In that case, we would actually want to remove the user. So I'm going to remove user 2. Actually, I'm going to go up so you can see on my screen. So I'm going to remove user 3. So I'm going to go to the 3 dots, click remove from course. It's going to pop up and ask me, am I sure? I'm going to click OK. Okay. Then I would theoretically navigate to the correct course I want them to be in. And then I would go to plus people and add them to this course. Again, I got to make sure it's login ID if it's a student. If it's a teacher, you can add by email address. But for students, you want to add by login ID, and that's their ID number, their student ID number. So in this case, it was example student 2, I think. And so I want to make them a student, and I want them to be in 0.11 or 0.100. Click next, confirm it's the same user with their login ID, and add them. Okay, so this would be the process of moving a student from one section to the other, or from moving them from one course to the other. I want you to really remember, if you're moving them from one course to a whole different Canvas course, to do that, you really, really, really must make sure you remove them from that old one. Otherwise, that student's going to continue to see that old course, and they're going to be confused on if they need to be in that course or not. So you want to remove them from the old one and add them to the new one. Okay, and then sections you can add the way we showed you. So these are some of the things that might come up. Again, don't do any of these during the school year, but for summer school, these are appropriate if the need comes up, because that data was not provided to us in time. Now, this is how we added the student. These directions are here for you just in case. But again, we went to the people page. We clicked on the plus people button. We added them by login ID, which is their student ID number. And then we add them to their section. Okay. The next step is one we want to caution you against, and be very careful. Please only create a course if you have thoroughly checked that that course does not exist in your Camp CMS subaccount. We provisioned an empty course at the very minimum for all the courses we were told would be offered at every site. So even if you did not originally have enrollments in that course, you may very well still have that course in your Camp CMS subaccount. Now, if it is one that you have extensively looked through your subaccount and do not see that course, and you absolutely need that course, then at that point you would create the course. This is going to also be different from the school year. During the school year, a lot of users create courses like sandboxes, as we call them, by going to the help or resource menu over on the left on the global navigation. That should not happen during summer school. During summer school, you must be the Canvas admin. So this would be the site admin or the principal of that site, or anybody they have added as a Canvas admin. Remember, if you need to add somebody as a Canvas admin, that's at the tail end of that last video. Okay. So if you're the Canvas admin and you want to create a course, this is how you're going to do that process. But again, do not go to the help menu or the resources menu. Please follow these steps to create the course. So as the Canvas admin, you will know you're a Canvas admin because over on the left, you're going to have a shield, and then you're going to have your sub-accounts. So you will typically still see your sub-account from the regular school year. So this user is typically a person who works at Butler High School. But for the summer, they're at Independence High School. So they want to click on their Camp CMS subaccount. And you'll know it's the Camp CMS subaccount because it says Camp CMS 21 _ your site name. And so that site name will be different for each user who's at a different site. Okay. Then what they're going to do is that they are going to they're going to go to courses, which should be where you land by default, by the way, and then click on plus courses and then create the course. The course name and reference code are just the same thing. Just copy and paste for what you type in this box into the next box. You're going to drop this down and select your sub account. You're only going to have access to your sub account that you're in. So it's just a matter of selecting it. And then the enrollment term must be this one. It must be Camp CMS 614 to 729. Then you'll add the course. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and I'm going to walk you through. So I'm in a demo Camp CMS sub account. So I'm over here as an admin. I'm going to go over here until I find that sub account. I have a lot of sub accounts. So over here, you're going to see Camp CMS 21 demo. You're going to click on that. And by default, that takes you to the courses page. Okay. So It's going to take it a second to load, apparently. You're going to see that we're on this page here. See how it says courses? We have all our other admin tools here. And you'll have a list of probably anywhere from like 20 courses to 80 courses already. And so you'll see those all listed out here. I just have one demo course in this sub account, okay? But you'll see all of yours. You may have to scroll to the bottom and click next to see all of them, or you may need to search to find a specific course. Now, if I want to create a course, I'm going to click on the plus course button up here in the top right corner, similar to how we added a user. And that's how I'm going to get that dialog box that you saw. And so I'm going to call this demo course number 2. And then whatever I put in this box, I'm just going to copy and I'm going to paste as the reference code. The sub account, it's going to default to whatever sub account you're in. So notice mine is only giving me camp CMS 21 underscore demo. Yours will give you camp CMS 21 underscore your site name. And then I'm going to select the term. And so there are a lot of terms in here. So you're going to have to scroll to find it. And again, we're looking for the one that says camp CMS 614 to 729. I'm going to select that, then click add course. Okay. Because I only have 2 courses in this sub account, it's very easy to find. If you have a lot of courses, like over 80, obviously, it's going to be a little harder to find. So you want to kind of make a note of what you just named that course. It should still be on your clipboard if you just copied it, and you can always search for it to find it. It doesn't automatically add you or anybody else to that course, so you want to be able to find it. Then you could navigate to this course and add sections and users, just as I showed you at the beginning of this video. Because this course was not created programmatically by the Canvas admin team, users and sections will not be populated and a blueprint will not be blueprinted to this course. Okay, at this point, we can't do that. So if you need to pull content in, you can either do that from another course by copying from another course, copying from the commons. If you are looking to pull in users, you want to follow the directions at the beginning of this video and the other video on how to add people, both teachers and students. And remember, under settings, you can add sections. So one last time, I do want to really reiterate, as a disclaimer, these procedures are summer school only. Please don't do any of these during the school year, but they might be necessary for you to meet the needs of your site this summer. If you have any issues and need assistance, we ask that you put in a Cherwell ticket. You can get to Cherwell by going to my.cms.k112.nc.us and signing in to the intranet. And there is a Cherwell My Support button over on the right. Right here, you can put in that ticket for us to let us know. That way we can work through and help everybody as they need assistance. And so we as Canvas admin team are going to do our best to help support you through this. So you click here, and then it's technology services. You're looking for Canvas, and you can put in that ticket. It's always best to give us as many details as possible, telling us the site name, the specific course, the specific user. Giving us more details is impossible. Like, please give us too much information. I promise you it will assist us in helping you faster. So you would go through technology services. So again, thank you so much, and good luck with summer school.